Hello and welcome to your programme Q&A session that will cover the MSc in Precision Medicine. We're joined by our panel today, which is made up of our academic teaching team as well as some current students. So it'll be great to hear from all of you. I think we'll start the session by doing a panel introduction. So Prathna, would you like to kick us off and then we'll just go around the room?
Sure, thanks, Naomi. Hi, everyone. My name's Prathna Claire, and I'll be helping in running the Precision Medicine program. So I'll pass over to Carolyn, who's also running it as well.
Hi folks, really nice to speak to you today. My name's Dr. Carolyn Loveridge, and I'm a lecturer in the MBLS Graduate School. As I say, I'm one of the directors of the programme along with Prathna. And yeah, it's really nice to speak to you today and answer your questions, hopefully.
Namrata, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Namrata. I'm a current precision medicine student in the immunology specialism. But yeah.
Hi, my name is Farin. I'm one of the alumni, so I also did the precision medicine course, specializing in immunology, and I graduated last year in 2024.
Welcome back. And Carolyn and Prathna, would you like to give us a quick overview of the MSc Precision Medicine?
Yes, of course. I'm just going to share the screen here. I've got a few slides. Hopefully you can all see that now. Is that okay?
Yep, it's showing.
Excellent. So just to go through the aims for the programme. So the overall aims are to provide you with an in-depth knowledge and understanding of key aspects of precision diagnostics, precision therapies and omics for precision medicine. A firm foundation in laboratory and analytical skills specific to precision medicine. I'm really sorry, this third bullet point doesn't actually apply. Apologies. I think this is maybe the wrong thing. So yeah, please disregard that third bullet there. We'll update that later. And finally, the opportunity to conduct an intensive research project, which will allow you to put into practice the key skills and concepts that you will learn throughout the programme. So just to give you an overview of the programme, so this is the structure. So I've broken this down into each semester. So we have quite a lot of core courses on the programme. So in the first semester, you will do 3 20-credit courses. The entire master's programme is made up of 180 credits. So in the first semester, you do 60 credits, starting with a new genomics course. We've then got precision diagnostics and therapeutics. And then we've got research skills in precision medicine, which is a laboratory-based skills course. Running across semesters 1 and the first part of semester 2, we have the World Changers Precision Medicine Seminar Series, where we have seminars from leading experts from industry and the NHS and academia to come and speak to you. In semester 2, you'll see that there's a focus on omics, particularly using R programming. So we have, first of all, omic data analysis and visualization using R for biologists. This is a 10-credit course. And then we've got single cell omics, and this course also involves R programming to do the single cell omics work. In the second part of semester 2, we have, you will be able to choose from various optional courses. So these are the courses in blue here. So we have in vivo research skills, the cancer microenvironment and biomarkers, biomedical image analysis with applications using AI and machine learning, complex disease genetics, linking phenome to genome, and another bioinformatics type course, clinical data, omic signatures and workflows using R. So these are all 20 credits, so you'll take one of these 5 courses. Running alongside that, we have a new experimental design project, which is centred around designing your project and how to analyse data. And that's a 10-credit course that will run alongside these 20-credit options. And then finally, we have the research project in semester 3, which is worth 60 credits. So just to give you a very quick overview of the teaching methods, so we do have a mixture of lectures, laboratories, particularly for the laboratory skills course. We have tutorials and seminars. We have a lot of student-directed activities, so we've got a lot of self-directed learning, so at master's level. The expectation is that there is a lot of guided independent study. So, for example, for a 10 credit course, the number of hours for formal teaching would be 10 hours. For a 20 credit course, it would be 20 hours. So there's a lot of, compared to your undergraduate courses, a lot of guided independent study and self-directed learning. We have a lot of online activities, pre and post-class things like quizzes, lab simulations, etc. There will be group work and presentations, peer review, things like reflective practice, journal clubs as well. And finally, just to give you an overview of the assessments, so we have a variety of assessments, so short answer questions, essays, exams, oral presentations, laboratory reports, a debate, which is an assessment that students really enjoy, reflective writing, annotated bibliographies, and your dissertation for your projects. We always offer formative opportunities for you, so this is where you either do drafts for your summative assessment. So these are all designed to help you towards your final summative assessments. We've got things like peer review, self-assessment, wiki tasks, question and answer sessions. So we really try to ensure assessments are authentic so that they are linked to sort of real world scenarios and or what you'll be doing in the workplace. And as I say, we do ensure that there are formative opportunities for all summative assessments. So I hope that gives you a good overview of what the programme is about. And I will stop sharing and stop speaking now so that you can ask questions.
That's great. Thanks, Carolyn. The optional courses that you mentioned there, should students be starting the Masters knowing which one they want to choose, or do they get a bit of time to decide which one they're going to take?
So
I think you get.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I was just going to say you would get a little bit of time, so you won't have to choose that the moment you start the program. You'd get a couple of months in, and then I think towards the end of semester 1 is when you'll start putting in your options for which one you want to do. So it gives you a bit of time to kind of reflect on what you've learned so far, so it helps inform what direction you want to choose going ahead as well.
Perfect. And maybe we could speak to our students, current and past, just to see, how did you enjoy the different mix of assessments throughout the MSc, or how are you enjoying them? If you can enjoy an assessment.
Sure, I can go. I particularly enjoyed the debate in the first semester. To be honest, debates are something that I'm not exactly comfortable with, or I wasn't before, but then you get a lot of time to work on it, and you work in smaller groups, and depending on how your group is, at least for me, it was very dynamic. We were all very involved and quite excited about the topic. So when it came to the actual debate, it was a very good way to show your level of understanding on the topic, but also try and like think on your feet and critically use evidence, I guess, like on your feet as well. So I think it was a good challenge for me, but the fact that you got to do it in a group just made it a little bit more comfortable. And yeah.
I think for me as well, I think the debate was my favorite assessment, mainly because it was the first group assignment that we had. So it gave me a chance to interact with some of my peers and get to know them a bit better. And some of them became my friends throughout the journey. So I really appreciated all the group works that were involved in the program, and the different variety of assessments that there is. So there's, as you could see in the list, there was like reflective portfolios, then annotated bibliographies, essays. We also had exams. So it gave like a big range of different types of assessments. So yeah, I got to learn how to write different pieces of work. So yeah, that was very good.
Great, and it's always nice learning new skills, isn't it? We've had a question there. So, the programme's changed slightly for this year. We've removed this option for specialism. Carolyn Prathna, would you like to give a wee bit of background on why that decision's been made?
Do you want to start on this, Carolyn? I can jump in, or shall I?
Yep, that's fine. The Precision Medicine with Specialisms programme had been running for 5 years, and so as part of our routine quality control processes at the university, we have to do a review of the programme and just check that it's still meeting students' needs. In response to some feedback, we recognised that there was a need for some extra sort of core foundational courses and provision in key areas of precision medicine. So, for example, this new genomics course that we have, and also the experimental design course. Yeah, Prathna, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, just kind of follow on from that. We have gotten student feedback about students wanting a bit more background knowledge or that foundational knowledge, which the genomics course will help kind of make sure everyone's at the same level right at the start of the program. So that's important. And the experimental design course will just also provide more formal additional level of support before students go into their project, so that another little stop to help support them on how to think of their research questions, how to design experiments, just a nice little way to practice and develop these skills a bit more. And we did get more student feedback, both from current and past students, talking about how in the previous structure of the program, there were several courses which were running at the same time, which meant that there was overlap in some of the assessment deadlines. So this is another reason why we've tried to space things out as best as we can within the university's structures as well, to try to minimize any overlap in courses running at the same time, and to help mitigate any pressures from assessment deadlines as well, overlapping.
Great, and it's nice to hear that student voices are heard, isn't it? And we really listen to what their feedback is, so that's always good. And I know this is a really difficult question to answer, but maybe our students could give a bit of an insight. I know that no week is probably the same and it'll vary semester to semester, but how often do you find that you're in class, and how many days have you been on campus, roughly? Namrata, you're nodding. Would you like to give a wee insight?
Sure. So yes, like Naomi said, not every week is the same. I will say that you're in class most days of the week, probably like 3 to 5 times a week, but you won't have like a 9 to 5. You'll have anywhere from 2 hours to like 5 hours of the day where you're in class. And so it's pretty well spaced out. And you have time around your classes to work on assignments or to finish up your notes. And I guess like they do give you time to go back, review lectures, go back, work on your assignments. So I think it's very strategically placed when we do have days off. But yeah.
Great. And Farine, how did you find the transition to your masters? Did you find it quite a shock to the system, or did you manage to sort of manage your time okay?
So for me personally, I did medicine before this, and so moving on to a life science type course, it was a big transition. So for me, especially because I didn't study my undergrad in the UK, so just getting used to the system in the UK, how things are assessed here, how to write essays, all those were quite different. And I knew that I had to sort those things out before my assessments in order to get good grades. So I watched a lot of videos, and the University of Glasgow actually has like a lot of resources to help students regarding these, especially international students. So there's the student learning development team who hold like different classes. So I attended a lot of those classes to learn how to reference properly, because referencing is a big thing here. And then also like writing first class essays, what the teachers expect. And also, as Carolyn mentioned, that there are some formative assessments. So those are not graded, but those are great opportunities for you to get some feedback from your teachers to see that you're on the right track. So I made the most use out of those opportunities. I put like proper drafts and then showed it to my teachers, and they gave me good feedback, which I took forward for the final assessment. So I think that helped. Yeah, so the first semester it was a bit different, but yeah, I did get used to it, and yeah, my peers helped a lot along the way because we used to study together. So yeah.
That's great. And I think the university offers lots of different services and support. So it really is just a case of reaching out and getting that extra assistance.
And
Um,
sorry,
yeah.
just wanted to say, just to add on to what Farin mentioned as well, we are also trying to work with SLD, especially in semester 1, to try to incorporate that right at the start of the program. So at the start of semester 1, we already had a session on criticality, critical thinking, writing academic essays at the level of the postgraduate degree, just to sort of help everyone identify what skills they need to hone on, what to work at. And of course, this is something that Carolyn and I will help support students in throughout the program as well.
Great. And as part of the masters, the research project is such a large element of it. Could you just tell us a little bit more about the process? So how do students go about choosing their topic, and when does all that sort of kick off?
So projects start in about the middle of May and they run until early August. There is a system whereby we have a portal. So staff will submit projects to the portal and they assign programs to their projects. And then essentially we get given a list of the projects for a particular program, and then we will allow students an element of choice. So when we get that list, we will then let students see that list and we allow them to rank their choices. So maybe up to about their top 6 choices. So one thing to add, we will also offer the opportunity of external projects. So we have a lot of partners in industry and the NHS. And so we will offer the opportunity for external projects as well. The lists usually are distributed sort of late March. Students do tend to get in a panic about this, I'm sure Namrata will agree, because the current students don't have their list for this year yet. But yeah, we're working hard to just get that finalised now. So usually it's kind of towards the end of March, early April when you'll be making your choices. And then, as I say, you start your projects in mid-May. We will have the option for some external projects, also internal projects from the portal. And they run for 12 weeks until early August.
Great. And Farine, how did you enjoy the research project?
Enjoyed it. So yeah, like Carolyn mentioned, I started in May until August, and I worked in a lab within the university. Since I specialized in immunology, but throughout my course, I sort of developed an interest in cancer immunology. So that's why for my final research project, I went on to work under the supervision of Joanna Edwards, who is one of the professors at the university, and my project was in the other campus, the one in Bearsden. Yeah, so it was very nice. The lab project, I got to interact a lot with the lab members over there, and it's a great learning opportunity since everyone knows that you're there just to learn, so everyone is eager to help you. And even if my project was mostly dry lab, but I wanted to get some wet lab skills, so I reached out to my professor, and they accommodated my needs. So yeah, they showed me some wet lab techniques as well. So I think that's a great opportunity to exactly learn what you want, what you're interested in, and that will help you in the future, like when you're applying for jobs or PhD.
Great. Namrata, you've got that to look forward to. And in terms of after the MSc, what sort of jobs do graduates tend to go into?
So
So
we have
for me,
arranged. Oh, sorry,
sorry.
Karen.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'll perhaps start off. So from previous students that we've had, so we do have some that have gone on to do further study for a PhD. We have students who have gone to work with our partners in industry or other companies as well. We have students who've gone on to do NHS Clinical Scientist Training positions. We have students who've gone to do science writing.
Yeah.
And yeah, some various other science communication sort of area as well. So there's a range of different jobs that our students have gone to work in. So yeah, there are a lot of different opportunities for students, particularly through our projects with external collaborators. We do have students that have gone on to secure employment with these collaborators. So that's a really good opportunity for you. Sorry for it. Please do go on.
Okay, so yeah, for me, I'm just looking for like research assistant jobs, or I'm also applying for PhDs because if you look in the website, the university does have like a doctoral training program in precision medicine, which is one of the reasons why I applied here. So yeah, I'm applying for that one. And yeah, just research assistant jobs. And I know like some of my peers who have also applied for similar positions.
Great. And Namrata, what's your plans for after graduation? Do you know yet, or is it TBC?
I think it's TBC. I'm looking forward to this project and seeing kind of what I like and maybe what I don't like so much and just trying to take it from there. I think it will give me a great insight into what it's like to work either in a wet lab environment or a dry lab environment. I mean, you get a little bit of a feel through your classes, but it's different to work on like a specific topic and with people who work in the realm or in the industry itself. So yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity.
Oh, we'll need to pick up with you in the next year or so and see where you are. Um, and Carolyn Prathna, we've been asked, is this MSc does it give students an advantage when applying to the NHS Scientist Training Programme in the fields of cancer genomics or clinical bioinformatics genomics?
Based on the curriculum that we have, the program does offer some grounding in genomics, and there would be some sessions related to cancer genomics. We have a lot of bioinformatics related courses like the two core omics courses that Callan mentioned. If students are interested, they have the option to going into clinical omics as well. That's one of the options. So we do cover those sorts of research areas. Carolyn, do you want to mention anything else for that?
So as I've said, we do have some students that have gone on to do the clinical scientist training. So yeah, as Prarthana says, our programme does give you good grounding, but there's still the formal process that you have to go through. So our programme is not accredited in any way by the Institute of Biomedical Science. So we don't have that. We are hoping to get re-accreditation by the Royal Society of Biology. But for the clinical scientist training, it's a very specific set route that you have to go down. And usually as part of the STP training programme, you have to undertake a master's level programme of study. So yeah, as part of that, you would be having to take a master's. But as Prarthana said, our programme does give you relevant courses and relevant training that certainly would benefit you if that's something you're thinking to apply for. But we aren't accredited by IBMS.
Okay, thank you.
Just to be clear.
No worries. And have just our students or current past, have you managed to have a part-time job alongside your studies? Is that something you've done or something you think you could have done? Namrata, can we come to you?
Yeah, so I do have a part-time job. I work around like 16 to 17 hours a week, and I will say sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming if it's more like you really need to organize your time. And one thing that's helped me is creating time blocks throughout my day, but then also habit stacking so that I do things that I enjoy in between different tasks. Just because sometimes you do feel like you're working like the full day, like around the clock when you have a part-time job, just because, especially in the second semester, it's a shorter semester, so you have more classes more often, and then you have like a similar amount of assignments as first semester as well. So it can feel tough, but if you're organized, like you'll be completely fine, and there's people around you to help you. Normally, like everyone feels the same way in your class, so if you are struggling with something, you'll have someone to help you out, and you can always reach out to the lecturers as well. They've been incredibly supportive throughout the process, especially Carolyn and Prafna. Like any questions, they'll always have an answer, or they'll always be ready to help you. So yeah, it's not an issue. You can balance it. It's just you would want to kind of schedule your time accordingly.
Yeah, it's probably something that if you do get a part-time job, having it flexible is probably key so it doesn't take over your studies. And I think our last question probably will be, is there any advice or anything that students starting in September can do to really set themselves up for their MSc? Carolyn, would you like to start?
So I would say there's nothing specific that we would require you to do before you start the MSc. But if you are keen, then I can provide a few books that you can post. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing absolutely specific that you have to do. So I think the key thing would be to focus on finishing your undergraduate work, and even potentially having a bit of a break so that you're mentally ready to to hit the ground running for this intensive year doing your MSc. But there's
Yeah.
nothing formal that we would expect you to do. Prasna, maybe you can add to this as an international student yourself.
I completely agree. I would say focus on the now, focus on getting done with your undergrad degree and feeling good about, finishing strong with that. And then just enjoy your break. Honestly, we want you to be well rested, feeling good about what you've accomplished, because you've got to take time to acknowledge that before you start headlong into the next thing. And as you've heard from us, you've heard from the students, it's a master's program is a whole other level of work, but that doesn't mean that we can't help you get ready for it as you come and join us. So don't feel anxious about preparing for it beforehand. Just enjoy your break is my advice.
That's great advice. Farine, is there anything you would add? Any advice or top tips?
So I would say that if you're interested in a field or if you found some lecture interesting during the course, just reach out to the professor, because I saw that someone was asking if they could get some job or something related to a lab work to get some experience. So if experience is something that you're looking for, then just reach out to them. I didn't do it during my course because I was more focused on doing well on the course, so I didn't do any jobs. But afterwards, I did reach out to the professors and like different labs and startups to get some additional experience. So yeah, if you're open to finding experience, then yeah, the university has a lot to offer. There's like lots of different resources. There's like Coursera, which is completely free, so you can do like additional courses. So there's a lot that you can do to build up your CV, and the careers team is also fantastic. So yeah, make use of the resources that you have while you're here.
Definitely. And Namrata, what about yourself? Any top tips or advice?
I would say, I would definitely say you put like whatever you put in, the amount of effort you put in is essentially what you'll get out. So if like what Farron said, if you're really invested in something specifically, or you have a interest of yourself, you can leverage that in your assignments, because you have a lot of flexibility in what you want to choose with your assignments typically. So use that interest, and then use that time while you do your assignments to lean into that, because I think because this course is so heavy on the self-study side sometimes, you like it will just only help that you like go in, find what you're interested in, and then put in the effort, but then it'll show up, it'll like feel rewarding when you're finished, and it'll show up in your grade, and it'll show up in how comfortable you feel with all the concepts. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's some great advice there. Well, that's the end of our session. That flew by. So thanks very much to our panel for taking time out of your days. I know that you've all got a lot on, so thanks very much. And hopefully everybody watching has found that useful. If afterwards you think of any other questions, don't panic. This isn't the only place you can ask those questions. The programme administration team email address is on the programme webpage, so do send any further questions there. And like I said, it has been recorded, so that recording will be shared shortly. And yeah, and hopefully we'll see you all come September time. So thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.